Hi everybody, my name's Katrina DeCanini and I did my internship with the Marion County Public Health Department. We are located on the north side of Indianapolis at 3901 Meadows Drive. Unfortunately, I can't show you a video of the outside right now because it is raining, but I'll make sure that I get a picture in here for you. My site supervisor at the health department was Jason Ravenscroft. He is in charge of the pool, septics, and wells. The past few days he has been out of town, so I haven't been able to get him to get a video with, but he's a great man and definitely a good supervisor. My position here at the health department has been to be a seasonal pool inspector. So some responsibilities that I do on a daily basis include going out to pools and doing chemical testing. The main chemical testing that we do is pH, chlorine, alkalinity, and cyanuric acid for outdoor pools. And I will show you guys a video of me out in the field on other days here in just a second of each one of those. But in addition to those chemical testings, we have a normal check sheet that will look like this. This one specifically, I crossed out the information up top just so that we keep everything confidential, but it has the name and the address. It will continue to have the license type if it's for just the summer or if it's a year-long one. This is a indoor pool, so it says annual on it. After that, your sheet will say the pool type, whether it's a hot tub, a pool, a wading pool, which would be a kiddie pool. Then say this one's a hot tub specifically, not giving any other information about it, but it's a men's hot tub. Some places have a men's versus a women's hot tub, so they have specifics on there. After that, it'll give you information right around here for the owner, and underneath that is the management that will have their name and number located so that if you have any questions, if you can't access anything, you're able to get in. On this side here, you've got some important information that you can check off. It'll usually tell you the primary disinfectant. That is important primarily if you're dealing with a chlorine versus a bromine pool. Some chlorine pools could be a salt pool, it could say calcium hypochlorite, but if it says bromine, it has a specific different test that needs to be done for it. So that one's important to look at. Normally all hot tubs are bromine pools, but some pools choose to actually do bromine as well. Underneath that, it'll show you your flow rate. That's something that you check later on. Flow rate, you look at the flow meter, and it gives the gallons per minute of how much water is flowing through the pool. That is very important that it is running so that you do know what it's at. It's also got the turnover rate, the surface area, and then underneath it is the part that we do the chemical testing with. It has the free chlorine, combined chlorine, total chlorine, which I'll get into a little bit later in the video. Has pH, alkalinity, cyanuric acid for outdoor pools, temperature for hot tubs, and then it shows the capacity in gallons of the pool. So here I'm going to go over pH and chlorine with you guys. The first one here shows pH, 5 drops of that red indicator, and then for chlorine you do 5 drops of drop number 2 and drop number 3. You'll shake it up a little bit, and then you'll be able to tell what your pH and chlorine are for the pool. Another more specific way to get chlorine is if you do 2 scoops of the FAS DPD powder. You will either use a chlorine or a bromine titrate when doing this. You will do as many drops as it takes until it gets to clear. The next thing you'll be able to test is for your free chlorine that's in the pool. You'll use the DPD reagent number 3. You'll do 5 drops, and if it doesn't change any color, then you don't have any free chlorine in your pool. For alkalinity, you'll use 3 different things: 2 drops of thiosulfate, 5 drops of the total alkalinity indicator, and however many drops it takes of your sulfuric acid to figure out the final result of your alkalinity. 1 drop is equal to 10. Cyanuric acid, that is a simple one, the one that you will get the worst at the end. Fill the bottle halfway with pool water, halfway with cyanuric acid reagent, shake it up for 30 seconds. You will then pick up your little indicator. You'll turn it to where you can see the black dot on the inside. So after you do a normal chemical testing in the pool. The first section of this is the water quality section, and basically you'll refer to the back of the sheets that we've got here. I've just got copies here. And that gives you the rundown of if it's a chlorine or if it's a bromine pool, what kind of pool it is, and where the maximum and minimum should be. For the most part, for any normal pool, the minimum will be a 1, the maximum is a 7. 10's getting high. We will sometimes allow up to 15, just depending. At least they have more disinfectant than none. No disinfectant is not a good thing. But that's the first thing you'll check. After that, you definitely do your pH. Alkalinity is a pH stabilizer, so the range there is only 80 to 120, but if someone has, say, a 130, I'm not going to be like, your alkalinity is off. The main things that I will look for is chlorine and pH. Like I said, for outdoor pools, cyanuric acid. Cyanuric acid is very important, especially towards the end of the season right now. We're seeing a lot of pools starting to get higher up in the cyanuric acid, and that as soon as they get over 60, it is an automatic closure. With hot tubs, we like to see up until 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Normally they don't get that high though. So one of the next things that I want to talk about is just the general pool and chemical safety that we have. We like to check for a flotation device, a reach pull, if your spine board is there with a head immobilizer. You have a reach pull, you need a first aid kit and a facility phone, and if your pool gets deeper than 5 feet, you need to have a buoy that marks it off for safety. When there's time at the end of the month, we will do splash pads as well. Those are fairly simple, a much simpler sheet though. So what you'll see on there is facility name, location, date and time of when you went. It'll ask just a few questions, if it's recirculating or not, if the circulation system, if they have one, has a filter, disinfection, or if it automatically shuts off. It will ask you to take the chlorine and pH. Sometimes it'll get the temperature as well, but that one's not as important. And I will just say that getting the chlorine and pH on a splash pad is not that fun, because you're meant to get wet and sometimes you don't want to. It'll ask about drainage. It'll ask if they drain to a sanitary sewer or a storm sewer. It'll ask if there's standing water inside or outside of the splash zone and if it can cause a slip or trip hazard. It asks what type of ground it is, if it is concrete, asphalt, rubber, or foam. And there will be questions regarding if there's general safety rules, if there's a contact number that you can get to, if there's missing drains, if there's fencing around or electrical hazards, if there's trash in the area. It'll also ask about restrooms and drinking fountains. This sheet I'm not as familiar with. I was only able to do that once this month, and that was in June. My July month I didn't really get to do that though. With this internship, one of the biggest things that I learned that I've already experienced before, but definitely experienced now, is time management. One of the things that they do is they will give you all of your pools for the entire month at once. They don't tell you how to break it down. They will give you routes that you will follow, but they don't have any specific guidelines that you have to follow. You make it up yourself and you get it done. And that's fairly easy as long as you make a map quest the day before or the day of, so at least you have an idea of how far you'll be traveling, how much time you're spending traveling, and how much you'll be able to get done. Sometimes after a month or so, you've learned the pools a little bit and you know the ones you can do a little bit faster as well. If you have to go through an apartment complex, sometimes you have to wait for maintenance. Maintenance could take a while. Same with high schools. If you're going to a homeowner association, if you've got a key, you're in and out really fast because you don't have to wait for anyone, you don't have to talk to anyone. You can plan your day based on how your interactions are going to go that day. An accomplishment for me with this internship is that I did get CPO certified. This is a certification that will last 5 years. That means that I can operate any pool. I also have a little wallet card as well. It's got my name and everything on it. This is I'm CPO certified.